Hey guys, my name is Yassine and I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Yusuf.
And you're listening to the Greenlight Podcast for Muslim Basketball PA. If it's your first time tuning in, we'd like to welcome you to the show. And if you're a returning listener, we'd like to welcome you back to the show. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we appreciate your support.
We do a clap so Yassine can go back and fix it. All right. What's up, guys? Sorry for missing a couple weeks of the podcast. We've been very busy and focused on winning. So today I have with me Drew and Devo. How are you guys doing?
What's up, guys?
We've been trying to get them out for a little bit, but scheduling has been all over the place. Okay, let's look at last week's game against Yassine's team. Of course, Yassine's not here to defend himself, so this is your opportunity to really lay into him. Before we look at the stats, what were your thoughts on how the game went?
Well, honestly, for me, I think our team did pretty well. Wait, let's see the score. What was the score?
55-51 for you guys.
All right, so it was a close game, 55-51.
Sure.
But the first half, what we got?
First half, you guys
my
had
seat's a little short.
Down
so
6. 26-20.
And then the second half, we
35-25.
we put up more numbers. So I felt like everybody kind of knows this. We're like a second half team.
Sure.
You know, we get that momentum going. Like once we see and realize that we're not progressing the way we want, I feel like that kind of motivates us to just be the dogs that we are, to continue to try to strive to get better or play better, or make the better pass, make the better shot.
Sure.
See what we're actually doing wrong and call each other out. And that, I feel like, kind of proves it, just the points alone. So
Honestly, I have to give it to you guys. I feel like you guys really do call each other out. And I respect that a lot as a competitor who wants to win. I feel like a team has to be, you guys have to be able to call each other out and just be honest about it. It's not personal. Like we just want to win, right? And if you're worried about like hurting people's feelings and stuff, it's going to be very hard to win. But I feel like, I mean, not to call you two out, but I feel like I often hear Drew yelling at Devo to pick something. But
of course.
I always feel like Devo takes that like I don't want to say criticism, but that like
I guess the critique.
Yeah, you take the critique in stride and you're like, okay, like fix that real quick because you guys want to win.
Yeah. And he is. I mean, I've talked to him before. He knows he's kind of the one that I yell at because he can take it and he doesn't.
We understand. Once we lace up, it's like it's game time.
Yeah, we're focused.
Everything stays on the court, kind of deal.
Definitely.
So what was your opinion of how the game went? What was your thought process?
They did really well. I want to give a huge shout out to Yassine first. Me having 5 fouls, I haven't fouled out all year. He did a good job.
I forgot you fouled out.
That's crazy.
That was crazy.
Normally it would be me, right? Close.
And I think he even had 3 fouls in the whole first half, and then didn't have any in the second half.
Yeah, a couple of your guys. I mean, AR had 3 as well.
They attacked really well. Yassine with 15 points. We really wanted to shut down Dawood and Ethan. Ethan only having 3 threes did really well.
Yeah.
Dawood only shooting 1 3 did really well, I think. Got in his head a little bit at the end. Definitely coaching could help him on that. Getting his teammates a little bit more involved and keeping his mentality in the game. But we've all been there. That comes with maturity and playing a little bit longer in this league. I know with captains too. I would say huge shout out to Farhad too. We did a great game plan. Him only shooting 5 times. We've yelled at him all year to shoot more, but we got the win. And for a playoff game to get in, great game to them and better game to us.
Sure. Well said. I mean, what was your game plan going into it? I know you mentioned holding Ethan to only 11 points and Dawood to only 5. Those are 2 of their biggest shooters. Yeah. Was that part of your game plan, like trying to lock those 2 up and forcing the other guys to do the work?
Even putting him on Dawood, I questioned it at first, just because Dawood's a little bit shorter and he could be used on somebody bigger, but it benefited a lot. And even going down, James only having 8 points, James could have easily put up 16, 20 any game. He was driving hard last week and got even player of the week, I think, 3 weeks ago. So we really wanted to focus in on him and Yassine and Dawood and Ethan, and did a good job. Yassine being the leading scorer, I texted him personally and even said,
he's been chopping.
If you can keep doing that, you'll be number 1 point guard pretty soon.
Yeah.
You're driving hard. You're getting 5 fouls on me again. I just want to. That's a huge thing for him. Those 2 right off the bat. We got worried pretty quick, so it was definitely a good game. Yeah.
Yeah, the 5 fouls. That's tough.
How did it feel? How did it feel to foul out? Because I don't remember ever seeing you foul out.
I have not in a while. We had the timeout right before that, I think, with 4 minutes left, and I did say in that timeout, if I do foul out, I have faith in you guys to go get it done. You put the trust in me all year.
Sure.
I got the trust in you guys. Unfortunately, it was a ticky-tack foul at the end, but I picked it up. And
Do you remember what the foul was?
it was on your scene at the very end,
Oh,
the last
nice.
little
Okay.
layup that I blocked and got the foul on. I was worried on the sideline still just watching those free throws. Shooting 9 for 26 is a terrible free throw game, but
Sure.
they pulled it out, and all you can do is have faith at that point. When you're down and you're out of the game, you pray they pull it out, and they did.
Listen, I'll say with your team, especially with losing AR in the beginning, I feel like your team has proven, and you guys also lost Ismail. Adding Devo back, and I will say Devo from the start when you got added back, I said I don't think they could have found a better replacement for Ismail than Devo. Yeah, Devo fit perfectly in this team. He gets along really well with Farhad and Drew, and he'll fit perfectly there. I know a few guys in this who were on the wait list who wanted to play, but I don't know anyone else who could have fit in as well as Devo did. So I think that was a fantastic pickup.
And shout out too for being a D-Point nominee for coming in.
Yeah, right.
Season.
Dude, massive respect for that.
I appreciate it. I thank y'all for I definitely appreciate the invite, getting back in.
Yeah, of course.
And the fact that it worked out to just mesh so well. Like Farhad, I played with him my first season. Or
Sure.
my what was it? Second season. Second season, and that's kind of where I know him. And and when I heard the news and got the little message, I was like, oh wow. It sucked.
Yeah,
I had to replace the big man,
Yeah, but
it kind of worked out.
I feel like you filled the shoes as best as you could, and I think that the results are showing for it. Like I was saying, I think actually you had mentioned having trust in your guys, especially when you fouled out, because I think that you're a huge leader on your team. Obviously, Farhad is the captain and a very vocal leader, but I think you're another one of those leaders on that team. And this entire season, I've seen you guys the trust in each other increase and increase and increase. And we'll talk about it later, but even the trust of AR to give the ball to Nadim in the last 4 seconds of the game, and just the trust of letting him take the ball up, and Nadim hit a crazy shot. And I think that's a testament to you got the trust that you guys have in each other.
I don't know about y'all, but Nadim, compared to when I first got onto the team, 4 games in roughly, when I first met him to 2 games after, I don't know, I've seen a huge change.
He locked in.
Yeah, the way he played, the confidence he played, the drive that he had, just it changed.
Sure.
I love to see that.
The chirping in chat too.
Yes.
Yeah, right. You've seen him really come out of his shell, and I think that you see that on the court. Another guy on your team that I think does not get enough credit, and I'll be so real, when we played them, we did not game plan for him at all, and he made us pay for it, is Sad. Last week he had 11, and then so 2 weeks ago he had 11, and then he had 16, and I feel like his threes were really he's shooting you guys into the game and not letting you guys fall behind. So massive respect to Sad. I think that you don't get enough credit for how much you do for your team.
100%.
Yes.
Quickly looking at Laud's team from their first playoff game, obviously I got to shout out my younger brother Yassine for playing fantastic. I agree that if he keeps this momentum up, he can be a 20-25 point game guy.
Especially with those shooters around him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can drive and kick like that, and even give James, that little bit of break in that team, and not have to do so much.
Sure.
That team could be scary.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to say to Laud, I mean, you guys rebounded pretty well. You guys had 36, they had 40. They had more assists, a couple more steals, a couple more blocks, less turnovers. Less personal fouls. I think towards the end, the personal fouls got a little bit more personal. Just a little bit more personal. I think something to keep in mind for anyone watching, if you're going for those personal fouls to get them to the line when we're at 1-on-1, try to consider that people have work on Monday. Yeah. And this is not our career, so maybe hold them or give them a little shove or something like that. We don't have to
grab with a jersey. Something.
Yeah, just something. I mean, the refs know that that's what you're going for, right? They don't need to really see you playing backpack with someone. let's quickly look at Tiberius. That's the youth team versus Wasey's team. This was another close game, 49-53. I think the stars of Deir Yassin, that's Usman Shah's team, was Wasey and Sad. I think those two guys were they were locked in. They were having some fantastic. They had a couple breakaways together.
Yeah.
You kind of wish that a guy like Adil might get a little bit more on the rebounds, a couple more putbacks. That dude's humongous. You kind of hope that you kind of hope that those bigger guys rebound a little better. But I mean, the youth team had 40 rebounds to Deir Yassin's 28, so more than 10 rebounds on them.
No David Flores too, though. They also didn't have David.
I
Flores.
didn't honestly. I love David Flores. He's one of the nicest dudes in the world. This is my first time really watching them play without him, and it was.
You could tell.
It was
you
super
noticed.
obvious.
You
He gets those 10, 15 rebounds every single game.
easily.
Yeah.
And those were what they were missing. 12 rebounds. I mean,
Yeah.
the steals they let him, but and blocks. They played good defense. It was a good game. You could tell they were definitely afraid of Usman at the end a little bit.
Yeah.
In the middle of the lane, but. You're seeing too having 15 points shooting 6 for 14. That's a
Right. Some of those
good
threes
game.
were from the parking lot,
Yeah,
right?
they
That's
were
usually
deep.
Wasey's range, but Yassin was doing that.
But one of the twins again up top on Tiberius, 19 points, 7 points. That's if you both would have contributed, it would have been even a bigger win.
Yeah, right.
I
They
wish I
trade.
played
I think Farhad says it all the time, right? Every week they trade off.
trade.
Hey, today I'm gonna go crazy, and next week you'll go crazy. Rocky had a big day. His 8 points really hurt.
Yeah, they were impactful.
Yeah.
And I too, for Hakeem and Maz, I mean, Anwar Wakasi even said it. They grew up not knowing how to play together and still kind of fighting on the court a little bit. And I think, when they click, they did really turn it around. So if they can click, they'll be a really
I
good
agree.
duo too.
There's a lot of
duo.
There's a lot of young potential in this league. I think also someone who gets overlooked on that team is Ahmar. He's another one of those slim, tall guys who's really lanky and very athletic. I think if he starts getting the ball more, he's another good addition to that youth team. That was who they traded actually. They traded Ahmar for Hasib.
Yeah. And Akbar, I mean, we've played with him outside. We played with him for years. I've seen him grow up, and he's gotten really good. He's gotten
real
strong.
good. Yeah.
Facts.
But playing with two, I mean, in defense to me too, I know David and Andy have having good seasons after not playing with me.
Yeah.
When you're playing with guys like Ion and Hakeem and Maz who shoot the ball so much, it's hard to get somebody involved too.
Sure.
Only get sometimes those putback rebounds. Even Rocky only shooting 6 times. It's a lot of shots for him some games.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, though, another guy you mentioned, Rocky, dude. If you give Rocky one off season of really just putting up shots, putting in work, dude, he'll be unstoppable.
Oh yeah, because he's so
100%.
strong. I mean, I think James said it this week. He's one of the strongest guys in the league, easily.
He's a big
Huge
kid.
guy.
He's a big kid.
He's a big dude. He's very hard. I don't even bother trying to rebound against him. In general, I try not to rebound because at 5'6", 150 pounds, it's really hard to box out a guy who's 6'5" and 200 pounds. But yeah, I think if you give Rocky some time, if you give Ahmar some time, there's a lot. Even Hakeem and Maz, they get better every single season. If you give them more time, those guys will start to blossom in a couple of years, more than they already have. Ayan, again, another fantastic day for him, 15 points. He fouled out, but
sometimes fouled out. I don't even know Hakeem fouled out too.
Oh, look at that! I didn't realize that either. Yeah, clean it up, boys. two foul outs. I mean, they still walked away with the win, so I guess that's fine. You guys had a good game that brought you guys to this week. Unfortunately, your season's over, but you guys had a great run while you were here. Let's take a look at your game from your game from Friday. Why don't you guys walk me through let's start with your game plan. What was your game plan going into this? You guys lost by 2 points, 53-55 in overtime. From the sidelines, this was I don't know that there will be another. Even the finals. I mean, I'm so excited for it. I don't know that there will be another game as exciting as this one for the rest of the I think that this has to be the best game of the season. I mean, I think that I remember it was so evenly matched that L brought the ball down, and he was just standing with the ball, and everyone was just standing. It was weird. I was sitting next to Anwar, and I was like, bro, are you watching this? Like no one's moving. Everyone is just L is just standing, dribbling the ball, looking. No one's talking. Yeah, no one's talking. The crowd is not talking. Everyone's just watching, waiting to see what's gonna happen. That atmosphere was nuts. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Talk me through what your initial game plan was.
I definitely feel like that game, our game, was definitely the game to see because of obviously our last game, right?
Yeah.
Our last performance. Everybody expected something, and we performed how we performed, and it was just hard. It was hard, and then we get the rematch. And then it's a playoff rematch.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's dialed in.
Everybody's so focused in. We come off of a good run, last game. We were all pumped, and like you said, Al just comes up the court.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And everybody's just dialed in.
It was like we were in the twilight zone. Everyone was just what's gonna happen? It was crazy. What was your game plan going into this? Because obviously Munim's team has been going on. They're 7-2 right now. It looks like it hasn't been updated. I think they're 8-2 now.
Yeah.
They're every single week we're saying like who's gonna stop these guys, and every single week they pull it together.
This week was definitely a good fight. I think this week, even as Al said in the chat, we brought them down to earth a little bit. Their confidence. That's really what we game planned for, was the confidence. Was them to get so ready, so just, we're going to hang out, we'll play it out, wherever we played these last couple of games, and we're going to blow them out the water.
Sure.
We tried to get one of the guys fouled out. We did. A little bit too little too late, but
I
think
think
fouled out.
It was Abdul Wadud who fouled out, right? Okay.
And really to stop him was our main game plan. I mean, 17 points is still a good game for him, 9 rebounds, but holding him to that, we think should have done the job, and unfortunately it didn't.
Okay.
Al having 17 points was just another ridiculous game for him. Player of the week.
Yeah, right. You got to give respect
great game
to
for him.
to Al.
They deserve to win, definitely. But our game plan worked, and that's no diss to them, no hate to them. But Andy shooting 1 for 9, David shooting 1 for 7, Monum shooting 2 for 6.
This was the most, like you said, the most human that they've looked all season. Right? Was today? Was Friday? That I feel like this is like seeing Ivan Drago bleed. Like they've just been plowing through everyone, and now suddenly we saw like a chink in the armor. I have to give you guys I have to give you guys respect for that. I mean, it's been incredibly hard to play them. They have, mashallah, they have a fantastic team. I'm not taking anything away from them. Actually, I don't want this to be taken as hate, but they've had a fantastic season, right? But everyone has been struggling to try to figure out how to stop them, and I feel like you guys really, you guys have done it. You guys were the. I mean, it sounds funny to say, but you guys were the closest to actually putting it away from them. I think you guys were even up at the half, right?
We were up.
25 to 18. I don't know that they've ever actually played from behind. This was the first time we've actually seen them coming from behind.
And that was our big game plan. That was our big game plan too.
Sure.
Was to have them, go from behind and have to look and find out how to adjust, because they haven't adjusted. Not they haven't adjusted, but coming from behind for so much.
Yeah.
Down even 7 was a lot from them. So for them to pull that together as a team and learn how to adjust, and hearing Abdul Wadud out there and Monum kind of bring them together was nice.
Yeah. I mean, I actually didn't realize that Andy and David shot that
not
that
much.
Poorly, right? One for 9 and 1 for 7. Even Muhammad Afzal, Saad Afzal is usually a better shooter. 1 for 4. Sultan 1 for 4.
And it was just that drop back defense that we relied on playing, and that Farhad and AR put together too. They put together a great game plan.
Sure.
And just to talk on our team real quick, because I know they've gotten flack all season. Omer and Nadeem shooting 100%.
Yeah, dude, massive respect to them.
Came into the game. Everybody on the sidelines knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They have improved so much, I think, even from last season to this season. Seeing Omer with us has
just the
helped
confidence.
out a lot. Yeah, I mean,
there's some respect on his name.
yeah,
Facts.
It's nice seeing guys, even though that we lost, want to still play again and
Yeah,
not want to not come back.
I agree. I mean, looking at your team, everyone on your team scored. Everyone contributed. Obviously, Nadeem's shots were
Huge again.
were huge. With that 5 seconds left to send you guys to overtime, I mean,
huge.
Again,
Biggest
to speak
shot
to
of the season.
the trust that you guys have in each other is with 5 seconds left, you gave it to one of your role players who comes off the bench, and you trusted him to take the ball right up the middle and put it in. I mean, like that's a lot of respect. Omer coming in and he hit like a really quick layup. That's super important. I mean, especially in a game that you lost by 2. If you take any of those away, I mean, like
we don't get an overtime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Everything was super necessary. Again, we had mentioned it earlier. Shout out to Sad for 16 points on your team.
Ridiculous. 4 for 9 threes.
Yeah, he was just going crazy. It felt like he couldn't miss. Really, it felt like he was just straight up not missing.
And as you said, they kept us in the game. I mean, a lot of them felt like if he missed those, it was gonna turn around for the worse. So
100%.
Those were huge.
I mean,
and all props to them again. They played a great game. They
yeah, of course.
amazing.
I mean, you guys out rebounded them. That might have been the first time someone's out rebounded them. Out assisted. They had 14 steals. They had less turnovers. David had a few huge blocks. Like 4 blocks he had in one game, and I mean, they were big blocks.
Actually, who blocked me?
You could tell.
I think I got blocked by David.
I think everyone got blocked by David.
Yeah.
David just jumps up and smacks the ball. It's unreal.
That humbles somebody. That humbles you real quick. Like
100%.
That's where their defense kept us in this game too. I think if they were missing one of those big guys this week, or if David or Andy, or I know we keep giving them flack, but if AW couldn't have made it, it would have been a way different game. So
I agree, and I mean honestly, props to you guys for fouling him out. And before that's taken as a diss, you play fantastic basketball, so it's hard to get fouls on you. So the fact that they were able to have you sitting even if it was in the last few minutes. That's big, right?
Yeah. And they are taking those 2 charges. I mean, anytime 2 of your 5 fouls are charges, you're still doing good. You're attacking the basket.
Mm-hmm. I think that this was just a very exciting game. If you weren't at the game, I feel bad for you. This was the atmosphere was crazy. Just speaking about the atmosphere, how do you guys? I mean, you've played Muslim basketball for as long as I can remember. How does the playoff atmosphere change the way you play, or does it change the way you play?
So for me, it definitely does. And I think it changes where you play, what time you play, everything. I think is just a whole different atmosphere. I don't know if you played when we were out here.
I was here to watch. I didn't play. I was here to watch.
I was with Quran that year, and those outdoor ones were even a totally different atmosphere. You hear way different people. You hear more things. So being indoors at nighttime is definitely a different feel. And if some guys eat beforehand, they take a nap or go to work, it changes how you play.
Yeah,
I agree.
I love it. I think it's way better. I think playing at night brings more people out. You can see the crowd difference immediately.
Mm-hmm.
People try, I think, a little bit harder. You can tell if they go home, it's closer to nighttime. They don't want to go home upset. So I think it brings a better atmosphere. So it'll be interesting if we stick with this or if we go back to morning games.
Do you guys? So it's fair to assume that you prefer the nighttime playoff games?
Nighttime playoff games.
Yeah,
I think it's way better.
Playoffs at nighttime is definitely. I feel like a easier way for more people to attend.
Sure.
I mean, it sucks for the people who have the second shift.
But,
For me personally, I feel like the more the crowd, the hype everybody lets off, definitely changes the way I play. It kind of like helps it. Like
really?
Yeah, I feel like it just makes me want to achieve more. I like kind of want to put a show on. Why everybody 100%. Kind of deal. Yeah.
And I actually feel like you guys did that. I feel like actually the 2 of you specifically, I feel like you guys, when you guys are on the court during a playoff game, you guys like put on a show for the people. Like even if you guys unfortunately lost, like everyone who was there was like, dude, these guys went crazy. This was a crazy game. I'm so happy I came. So happy I watched.
And I like, even walking off the court, I know we were upset, obviously. But seeing everybody there still high-fiving us and the games and all that definitely brings a better atmosphere. And I know we're park players too a lot, so that kind of brings the atmosphere to us a little bit.
Sure. So overall, I'm sorry that your season's over because it was very fun. Man. And honestly, no disrespect, even though I'm sure it'll be taken as disrespect. I was banking on you guys playing you guys in the finals. I was excited. I was rooting for you guys. I was excited to play. I wanted to get Farhad back for beating my younger brother, so like that would have been the exciting part. So obviously, still very excited to play against Monim's team, but I was kind of pulling for you guys.
And we have played against Wakas and Anwar in the past couple of finals, so it would have been nice to see them again, but. Hoping we can keep the teams together next year, and
we'll get into that because I was gonna. Well, actually, since you brought it up, there's been talks of possibly doing a run it back season where we'll keep the teams the same. What are your thoughts on that? Do you guys want to run this season back, or are you guys interested in, shake the cards up, put people on different teams, and let's start over?
Well, I'll go for a couple seconds. Me, I honestly don't mind. I don't really care. And the reason why I say that is, I do like my team. I love my team. I do love my team.
Sure.
But also, I haven't played against. I haven't played against any. Like I've only played against probably 4 or 5 teams.
Sure.
So like I haven't seen many players. Like the youth team, I definitely would have loved to play against the youth team.
You didn't have a chance to play against them.
No,
okay.
Like I said, like I haven't seen that many.
Yeah.
So but like if we do a run it back kind of season, I would hope like we can have more games like the playoffs.
Sure.
And like I don't know, like the whole concession and like the
whole
seating,
atmosphere,
like like if we do it like that would be cool, and possibly add maybe a team or two or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be
Run
cool.
it back and add 2 more teams.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Sure.
But if it doesn't work, I think another draft or whatever would be
Sure.
cool.
Were you?
This is my first.
You got added, so I guess.
So like I don't really know how the draft would
Yeah,
be.
the
but,
draft
like,
was super.
yeah.
The draft was super exciting. You weren't there either, but like
No.
I imagine someone called you and were like, "Hey, like you went first with the
Yeah,
first
man, I
round."
wanna pick up the phone too.
Yeah, right. That was it was definitely a super exciting experience. I'm sure that they'll do the draft again. It was fun to see everyone, like people came in suits and ties
It was
and
great.
like
Even in the group chat, it was nice following
Yeah.
along and being able to watch it.
Your thoughts on a run it back season?
I think we should definitely run it back. I think a lot
Okay.
of guys get invested. I think maybe even after 2 years, then you go back to drafting. But I
Okay.
think a lot of guys game plan and get used to playing with the same guys so much and, want to run it back. But I think after 2 years, go back to draft and
So
split
like
it up again.
every two
Yeah.
years you play. So for
But
Yeah,
I think to draft a team, and I know we had a lot of team meetings, and Yassine's team went out to dinner. To do
Yeah.
that with a whole nother team again in another month and a half.
Yeah,
Seems
true,
like it-
true,
That's a
true,
lot of-
true.
that's
Gets
a lot of energy
planning.
and-
yeah, a lot of different people.
Sure.
In my opinion,
I like that idea.
I would
that's
love to
actually
just
a really
Let
good
us run it back. Add 2 more teams so the people who are on the wait list can get a chance to
Get
get
a
in. We
chance
get
to get
add
in.
new people.
Yeah.
I actually think that they would probably consider making the season longer, which I think would be exciting.
think so.
Right, a longer season.
Or just more, like he said, more playoff weeks, I think. I think if
Yeah.
you're going for a 9-week season to put, like the Twins weren't here this week, to put your whole season on the line
Yeah.
for 1 week after 10 weeks before that
Sure.
gets kind of rough, I think, at that point. They still lost. They still went home.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what I'll say. This is because that's our next game that we're going to discuss. This is all I'll say. This is no disrespect. Obviously, if you're a real competitor, you don't want like a Mickey Mouse win.
Yeah.
Like you want to beat the team at full strength or lose to them full strength, not win just because like they're missing all their
They had only 4.
guys. But this is what I will say: we beat them twice in regular season with the Twins.
I don't know. Don't know if it would have been any different. You wouldn't have seen Ion put up 28 points. I'll say that right now, and that's no hate to Ion. But
100. Listen,
it could have been
they were
totally
playing
different.
us. My mom was excited to see how well AN was playing. My mom was sitting next to his mom. They were going crazy for AN. But, I mean, 28 points.
It's ridiculous.
He's been in the lab.
He's-
He's been in the lab.
Yeah,
He's been in the lab.
100%, dude.
Just cooking.
And that says a lot because this game, unfortunately, was us versus AN.
Yeah.
It was all 6 of us trying to beat AN. That speaks volumes about how good of a player he is.
And you could see it from the moment they stepped on the court against you guys. He was going at the basket every time. He was shooting every single time. If you had a hand down, he was ready to go.
Yeah,
So
and he's making them too. He was 100% taking advantage of any mistake that you made. At the end, we were triple teaming him.
And he was still,
Like,
he was
yeah, and
still
he's
getting around it.
somehow
he's still
getting a
finding
bucket.
the way to get through it. And I think also the fact that basically their entire offense is running through him. The fact that he didn't foul out either.
Yeah. Well,
Right, like he was doing so much work. That dude must have tied his shoes 6 or 7 times. Actually, he told us after the game, man, like I kept like no one's looking. I would pull the string of my shoe and sit down and tie it to try to give myself a break because they're playing with 5 guys.
Yeah.
They
And
don't have
were
any.
playing with 4.
Yeah, and then at the end they end up playing with 4. Like
How do you feel? I know you were on the court for at least, I would think, most of it. You guys had a full, not a full team.
Yeah, we had
still.
6. Anwar's playing on that ankle of his.
How do you think you guys did? What was your game plan? How do you feel like it went?
I think it's a little sad that AN went that crazy on us, one guy, and it took us. I'll be real. It took us the entire game to stop him. It wasn't until like the very end that we finally got him to stop scoring. But like, it shouldn't have taken almost 35 minutes to figure out how to stop the one guy with the ball.
Yeah.
I think.
But you did.
Yeah, I mean,
You did.
eventually figured it out. I mean, listen, at the half it was 21-23. AN scored 28 points. Rocky scored 4. Qasim scored 4. Ahmar didn't score. Neji didn't score. The entire offense was AN, and that's what kept them in the game for this entire time. I think we were not doubting them at all, right? We know that they're fantastic players. I think that unconsciously though, when you know that a team has 5 guys, it's hard not to like. This is gonna sound like disrespect.
Let your guard down.
Yeah, but it's hard.
like,
But it's hard to
like,
not
it's
unconsciously
only 5.
feel like you're playing down to the competition. They got 5 guys.
Yeah,
Like,
they're gonna be tired.
yeah, realistically,
like,
we should
yeah.
they should just be like a
We're
like
gonna
a
walk
formality.
through
Yeah,
them.
like we
Yeah,
just like we have to play them before we go to the finals. So
Yeah.
like let's just get this over with. Even though we spent the entire week game planning. We actually game planned. We expected the Twins to actually show up. Even after they were swearing like, no, the Twins are gone. They sent their plane tickets, and we were like, guys, do not believe what they're sending. They will be there on Friday. It wasn't until they blew the whistle and the Twins were not in the building that we were like, okay, they're
We're
probably
ready to
not.
go.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
probably not coming. I think that Waqas had 19. Some of our shooting wasn't fantastic, honestly. Anwar still put up 13. This is his first time playing basketball in like 6
I was
weeks.
surprised to see him back.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he played the entire game.
Yeah.
Actually, it was not mind games. Like every single week, someone would ask us like,
So-
"Is Anwar playing? Is Anwar playing?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. No, we didn't know." Leading up to this, Anwar, like the morning of, Anwar is like, "Guys, like I don't know if I'm playing. Like I'll be a game time decision because I don't know if I'll play." And then he ended up playing like the entire game.
Yeah, he
And
came
after
in.
the game, I asked him, I was like, "Were you like, was this like a mind game? Like, were you guys like?" Were you like planning this for them to like game plan like Anwar might play, Anwar might not? And he was like, no, I know that the second I take my ankle brace off, my foot's gonna balloon up again. I don't know how I played the whole 40
What
minutes.
happened?
I think he in a pickup game he like
Wednesday nights,
I
right?
think he might have like stepped on. I think he stepped on
rolled it
Sumair's
really
foot.
bad?
He stepped on Sumair's foot and his foot like bent the wrong way and it like he was in a boot for the entire season.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, like hobbling like. It was a bad injury.
I'm
and
surprised.
I'm
that he was
surprised-
playing.
I'm surprised
He
that he
didn't
was
look
able-
that bad to be like
He was
not
spi-
not
by
that
the
he
end, he
looked
was
bad,
spinning,
but like
but-
he didn't look
Yeah.
like somebody that was still
that hurt himself.
you
Yeah,
know?
so I think 13 for him coming off of like 6 or 7 weeks of not playing.
That's a good game.
You can't be mad at that.
And even Matt having 12 rebounds, 3 assists. That's
Yeah.
a huge impact to that team. Anwar doesn't have to crash the boards as much. Get you guys open shots. You with 6 points. That's a good game. 2 for 4.
Yeah,
3.
right. I mean,
That's
I don't.
good.
This is like what you mentioned about like Ahmar being on the youth team. So many of those like Hakeem, Maz, and An shoot so much that it's hard to find like how do you fit in on offense.
Yeah.
This is another team that like Waqas and Anwar are like they're the guys.
Yeah.
They're putting up all the shots. So like 4 shots for me is like that's for
good.
me that's a good
Making
good
2
night.
of them is good.
Yeah,
That's good.
I was happy for myself. This
3
is
assists,
3
2
assists.
steals.
That's my season high for assists in a game.
Hey,
Um,
get him.
Team leader with Matt.
Yeah, I mean, Waqas had 12 rebounds. Listen, I know that it will go down as a Mickey Mouse win because they're missing so many of their guys, and I can respect that. But
But you
I don't
still
want to
made
take
it.
I don't want to take away from the fact that An played such a
Yeah,
good
he
game.
played lights
He
out.
scored more than any of us did. He had a fantastic game.
And didn't give up. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
As long as you don't give up,
That dude was
anything
locked
could have
in.
happened. So
Actually, I remember after the first half, Anwar came to the sidelines and was like, "Guys, you guys are gonna let An beat us? Like, is this, yeah, we're gonna let An beat us? Is this what's happening? I'm not losing to An." And yeah, I mean, like it was a good game. I'm excited for next week. I think it's going to be our toughest match for sure.
Definitely. We'll be there.
For sure.
Listen, for myself at least, it's just a win to make it this far for myself because I know I've said it like a million times, but like 2 or 3 years ago, I couldn't play sports. I couldn't walk. Like I was in a wheelchair for a little bit. Like I did not see myself playing sports again. So for myself now to just be like, I'm going to the finals on Friday, mama. like that's a win for myself. But I'm very excited to play against them. Let's real quick. Well, how about this? Let's make our call. Let's look at next week's game. Okay, it's not up. Website's not up. AR, you got to fix that. So next week will be Modem's team versus Anwar and Wakas's team. Who do you guys think? Don't let the fact that I am here influence you. Call it how you see it.
I'm going Nazareth. I think I've played against personally Anwar and Wakas in the finals. I do think if Anwar doesn't play or is hurt leading up to the game, I have Sheikh Jarrah just immediately. No offense to Wakas.
Yeah.
There's too many bigs on that team to get them all without Anwar at least being a number 2 to him.
Here, look, we can even just pull them up just so that we can see their squad.
But I would say just with Wakas and Anwar, I've played against them in the finals. We've played against Matt for multiple years before this league. We've known him outside. You guys have a really good team. You guys have the pieces to get it done. I think the defense we played kind of gave you guys a little insight on how to get it done.
I've watched your game a few times. I've watched it back a few times, yeah.
They still have, obviously, a finals team. They beat us. We're not there, so they're a better team than us.
Sure.
But I just think, with Al being the only, I don't want to say this in a bad way, the only ball mover on that team and the only one to really start that offense, if you can clamp him down with you and even Wakas, because he doesn't really like to run around that much on defense. He just kind of hangs out. If you just throw him up top and just let Al try and get around him, I see you guys pulling it out.
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Devo?
I'm also taking same side. I mean, no, hate against the other team, but like I feel like I don't know, the brothers. I played against the brothers multiple times, and like having Matt as well is big. It's definitely big.
I think he gets underrated a lot.
He's
like, I think people think that he's slow or that he's old or something like that, but he plays neither old or slow. Like that guy.
He's a librarian, and a librarian for a reason. He plays smart.
Yeah,
he plays
100%.
He uses his body.
He makes the right play. You can always trust that Matt's going to make the right play.
And his mid-range, like just any points coming in from the mid is
automatic.
Yeah, it's literally automatic.
And for him being undervalued, just quick before you go, he's been the second option last year. Jamie, we love Jamie too. We played with Jamie a lot. He shoots a lot. Jamie likes to shoot. He's a really ball-dominant point guard. And this year with Wakas and Anwar, you're not going to shoot a lot. So I think if he gets on a team even like the youth that they can get the ball that much, he can
100%
be really dominant.
Yeah.
Imagine the youth team having Matt.
Run it back before we do any switching. Let us run it back one more time.
I just feel like after just playing them too, so like and knowing the pieces that can be put in certain places and seeing how our defense kind of like slowed down the ball movement of their team, like I feel like you guys can do the same,
Sure.
And you guys have that big man too to help.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that big man.
You don't feel like AR's your big man? I mean,
So
go ahead.
Yeah, but no, not really.
Yeah. Like, I love AR, best player. I've said it on Farhad's podcast. I think the biggest impact to our team, without a doubt. He brings so much. But
sure.
We counted, and we're happy that you're on the team, obviously, as well. Nothing against him. We counted on Ismail being that big.
That's fair.
Big dude in the middle to stop, Andy, David, Matt, Wakas, even Uthman on Yassine's team, James, all those big guys.
Sure.
We counted on him. AR kind of is like our L. He moves the ball around. He tells us where to be at.
Yeah.
So for us not to have a true center where it would be me, maybe I should work on that too for next year if we run it back. But I think somebody like that just hurts a lot if you count on that and don't have that.
I got you.
I would have loved to see Ismail play. Like
I-
I
yeah,
played
he's-
rec ball. I played
Yeah,
like
he's,
some pickup
he's a
ball.
he's a fantastic player, right?
Yeah, I played when he had just his first like pickup game
Yeah.
off of the injury.
Oh, he was going crazy.
Yeah,
He's having a fantastic
gosh,
day.
Going
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, back to the sheet here. I feel like you guys can definitely
We
You
can
pull it
pull
out.
this
Pull it
out.
out, yeah.
Yeah. I do feel like it will be a tough game though.
100%,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's gonna be like one of those games.
gonna be a dogfight,
You're
100%.
gonna have to be there. Like it's gonna be a interesting, very interesting
Yeah.
dogfight type of game.
I've had the pleasure of seeing the Ahmed brothers in the finals. They just whatever you think they have, there's like another. They got like
There's
another
extra
gear,
gear, yep.
right? Like they have like there's like another notch to what they can do, and I've seen it the last couple of seasons where like in the finals because it seems like they're always in the finals.
Yeah.
You can see them like turn it up. So
Yeah. And if you don't force them to do a lot the week before, you can tell they get a rest week and they hang out.
sure.
So,
I mean, yeah. Listen, I think you guys really have like you showed us the blueprint of what has to happen for us to win. I think the fact that we need this much game planning to try to topple this mountain
Shows,
Yeah,
right?
shows
Shows,
is nothing but
absolutely.
is a lot of respect to you guys for having a fantastic season and making it this far and basically being mostly undisputed up until now.
yeah. Number one for
But
a reason.
yeah, but I you can't ask me to vote against my boys. I have to say that I'm confident in us and confident in our abilities, and we've gotten better every single week. I'm confident that we can also walk away with the win. I have a question for you. I'm pretty sure me and Anwar were talking. I'm pretty sure that two of them were barking at you guys.
Yeah.
When,
So,
like the first run, I think L and Sultan might have been barking at you guys.
I didn't really see. I don't think I got barked at, but I think it was on like a rebound or like they like kind of trapped somebody.
Yeah.
And, like there was I don't really know, but that's wild.
So
Yeah.
we can confirm that it was in fact it was barking.
I think it was more Sultan.
Yeah.
Him trying to show that he does stuff on the court a little bit.
Sure.
Great player. Great defender.
Do you feel like the barking affected you, or it was more like
No.
we couldn't believe it on the side? Anwar was like,
I
is someone
think-
barking?
And that's you guys laughing was
Yeah.
how we felt on the court.
Yeah.
Like, a bark out here, like come on.
I think
So,
that's funny.
it is one of those things like me taking the phone. at
Yeah,
halftime.
like
It's one of
those
things,
those
you
like
laugh
antics
about it.
make it. Yeah, like when we look back at this season, we'll remember Sultan barking. Like
Yeah.
we'll,
Like,
we'll remember
one of
Drew
those things.
taking Smoothie's phone and looking at the right. Those are things we'll remember. Abdul
Those
Wadud
little
flattening me. Like
Yeah.
like these are things that we'll remember.
Them holding up the postcards.
Yeah,
right.
That little stuff.
Okay.
That's what sets it apart too, as James talks about in the group chat all the time.
Sure.
And him even joining halfway through the league was so happy to get that text
Yeah.
and join. Makes it
Yeah.
such a better league.
You guys play in other leagues, like actually currently, right?
Yeah, so we actually have a championship game tonight.
Actually,
against,
Okay.
like,
against
a couple
James.
hours. In a couple
Very
hours.
exci- What's your
So-
call for that? What's your call for your game?
I think we're gonna win. James
Yeah.
has a great group of guys. Their
You're
team
playing
is-
against
we
James.
play against
Yeah,
James.
and some other guys.
Yeah, the guys that
shooters.
came to watch.
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
guys on the sideline with
Like
him. Joey,
John
and
Honcho,
Shanna.
right?
Yeah. So they have a great group of guys. They're all really good shooters. Those guys I know, like James said, would love to get in the league.
Sure.
That league is
That would
terrible.
be- that would be a
that
nice
league is
addition.
horrible.
Really?
Absolutely the worst league
Yeah.
I've played in heyday. You
It's-
should leave PA. You're absolutely garbage.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
They have refs. The
Yeah,
refs yelled
for
at each
real.
other last week on the court, literally arguing while
Toledo.
they're making a phone, like while they're making a call. It's
Yeah.
just
Wow.
little stuff
Or
like that.
refs just
Um,
deliberately not calling.
yeah, like they
and
put the
just
whistle
like
in the
putting the
pocket.
whistle, like, oh,
Like I'm done.
Just
You
put in
hate
the
that.
pocket.
Also,
Yeah.
I mean, we had mentioned it. Whoever, no disrespect to you as a person, but the shorter ref.
disrespect.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
All disrespect.
Shorter ref.
Nah,
Just
need-
he was talking to me during the game.
if you don't
Like
wanna be
instead of
there-
reffing, he was like turned and when I was sitting on, I had rolled my ankle, so I was sitting down for a little bit. He like turned and started talking to me, and I was like, bro, like,
yeah, if you
Ref
don't
the
want
yeah,
game.
yeah, like they're paying you for this. Like you need to turn around and pay attention.
And that's where we always feel if we're paying you and you should be more invested than we are. You
Yeah,
make more
100%.
calls than we do. I'm just out here playing. I'm relying on you sometimes to not get hurt or to
Yeah.
not get
No, I
fouled that
agree.
hard.
for real.
Yeah.
they have to call stuff. Like you can't just.
Yeah.
It's just like us going to work. Like we're going to work to go get a paycheck. You know.
Yeah.
You got to take it as a job. Like it's a job.
Yeah. then you get paid. I mean, not to speak on their salary, whatever they get
Yeah,
paid.
but they're getting paid.
But
to,
they're getting paid.
This is
you
what we're
get
paying
paid.
you to do.
So,
You got to
yeah.
do
For a
it.
couple hours,
Come
bro.
and
Come on.
try.
Come on. Come on.
I know. I
Come
agree,
on.
100%. And also, I mean, like, I feel like you hate to leave a game in that, like, to say that you lost because of a ref,
Yeah.
right? Because it shouldn't
Yeah.
have gotten to that. But I mean, like, if the refs are not making any calls and they're not keeping you safe or whatever, like,
I know
that
we
has
still-
a huge impact on the game.
Huge. We still talk
100%.
about the finals with my grandpa
Yeah.
and Akbar, who refed, and it was one of those games where it's just like that could have been a totally better game, more
Yeah.
involved if
If
refs would have been there. And
I
done
agree.
something.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you guys have a fantastic
We
championship
appreciate it.
championship game.
And it's still a great, we still enjoy playing in the league. It's just the way it's ran, and you can tell for how much you guys do for players
Sure.
and for everybody else in the league. It's a big difference compared to other things.
Yeah, and knowing how much we pay these guys
Yeah.
and how much, like, all right, so just like putting Heyday League compared to our league, like it should at least be equivalent, or
Equal,
something, and they have so many other different activities as well. So
Yeah.
like, they're getting money. They're
Yeah, they have the finances
They have
to
the
do it.
funds to do it. And last minute gym movements or like, oh, we don't have any refs or
Yeah.
that stuff can't go. Like,
I
or
agree.
pulling up to a court that
Yeah.
one hoop is 8 foot and then the other one is 9.5
That's
is crazy.
yeah, that's unreal.
It's crazy.
Some people can dunk now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Like
It
now
changes
the
the whole
the
game.
I'm over
games
here
are-
catching crazy windmills
Yeah,
between
right.
the legs,
Right.
I'm punching it off the top of the backboard.
Yeah, that's different.
Like, that's crazy.
That changes everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I would say that this is like my first season being part of, like, I guess, the behind the scenes stuff. The guys who are running it, the commissioners, are super passionate about it, and I always feel like their ultimate goal is like player satisfaction. Like, they want the guys who are in the league to want to, like, that when next season comes around, they're like, yeah, like that's
They
it, I'm
wanna
playing.
stay,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
playing. Not like I'm not sure. Like, no, if there's a spot, I'm playing.
I
That.
wanna be in.
Yeah, I always feel like they're looking like. You should hear the stuff that AR says. Like, he wants to, like, he was talking to me and Yassine. He was like, what are your thoughts on, like, buying a drone? And we'll record all the games with the drone, and we'll get, like, really awesome shots so we can make highlight videos and stuff like that. He's doing those thoughts, and those ideas are coming from, like, he wants the guys who are playing to feel like this is
Like,
this
this
is we're
legit.
appreciated. Like,
Like,
we
this
want to
is
come back.
legit,
Yeah,
you
like, we
know?
want to. This is the league we want to play for. So definitely massive shout out to the commissioners for making this league what it is.
I mean, I felt like that when I found out that I wasn't playing. I'm not gonna lie, I was sore. I was definitely sore.
I had nothing to do with that. So if you're gonna
I
point the
was
finger at
sore,
someone, you
man.
can point it at your
But then joining, like, even 4 games in, 5 games in, like, I felt great, like,
Yeah.
that's where I wanted to be. So
Sure.
I definitely appreciate how the league has been running and the progression of,
For sure.
every game. Each game, it just gets better. Like, it feels better,
Yeah. Also, I mean, like, fingers crossed that next season they get us on a bigger court. I think they're trying to get a court that we were talking before that has, like, bleachers and stands so that people
That would
can
be
actually
great.
come and watch.
That would be great.
I mean, I think that in the next couple of years you'll start to see, like, a lot more progress in like how exciting it is to play in this league. So, let's take a quick look at this. What I imagine will probably be, like, the end of the league leaders. Drew, how does it feel to basically?
Mugshots.
I mean, your face was up here a lot more at the beginning of the season, but how does it feel to see your face on 3 of the stat leaders? Drew, you're leading in points, you're leading in doubles, and you're leading in free throws.
It's really good. I appreciate it. I appreciate my team always trusting me to lead the team and get it done with the points and the doubles. Didn't get it to finals this year, but still came close. And I'm happy to lead the league with how many other good guys there are out there.
Sure.
You can see even Andy, Matt, David on rebounds, and then Saad Qureshi, another young kid that I think gets overlooked a lot just from how his team has gone the past couple of years.
Sure.
But he's going to be really good. I think he's right there with Ion a little bit. Seeing David lead the blocks is amazing. He
Especially
had
for a
huge
guy who
turnaround.
missed a bunch of games at the beginning of the season, and now he's leading in blocks.
I'm thankful. Free throws. Shout out Mike, helping me out there a little bit. But it's fun. It's like I said, the best league to play in. No other league that we know of has stats like this. Mike had his that he kept stats a little bit, but it was still nothing close to the amount of effort and time that you guys.
I mean,
put
like
in.
they have an entire crew of people who are taking stats, like
Yeah.
for every single game. Like they got 2 people who are like watching, and one of those little kids is smacking tapping away at that iPad or whatever. And then actually, the last 2 or 3 weeks, Isha and her mom and Farhad go back and they watch the games again, and they check their
That's
work.
crazy.
When we were talking to Farhad about it, he was saying that for the most part, for the last 3 weeks that they've checked their work, that they're like 95% correct. Yeah. Like missing like a couple, like maybe an assist here or like a steal here or something like that.
And shout out them too for being that young, and I think that goes to
Right?
show to the commissioners
gosh.
too, and you guys for how much you guys do to have young people who want to do all that and
Right.
And the drive
week,
for it.
yeah.
And the drive for it.
Right. They had to be. I mean, dude.
And the
So
drive.
Isha's like 12. Like for her to be like that locked in and
It's
focused, for
crazy.
them to be like calling out the massive respect to them, because I would not be able to stay focused that long. I would get too excited about the game and I'd stop clicking and tapping on stuff.
And Miriam and Farhad too for raising kids like that.
Yeah,
Shout
dude.
out.
And then all the chocolates, bro.
Right.
And all the, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Dude,
It's like-
have you've had their chocolate before?
I have them all
Those-
in my fridge,
Those
man.
those s'mores chocolate
crack-
bars are unfreaking
I just got
real.
them. I just got
They're
the
the best.
s'mores. I haven't
They're-
tried it yet, but I'm as soon
Once
as I
you
get
get-
home today. Like,
Once
as soon
you
as I
get the
home, I'm gonna-
s'mores one, I mean, me and Yassine were telling her like, you need to the white chocolate gone, milk chocolate gone, dark chocolate gone.
Cookies and cream
Just
was actually
s'mores,
pretty
just-
good.
S'mores is
Cookies
I don't
and
know if
cream
I
was-
tried
It was
cookies
pretty
and
good.
cream.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it
that was
was.
good.
I just feel like
Good.
when you try the s'mores, you're gonna be like,
the best.
you're gonna be like, no, the marshmallows, the graham crackers, like everything.
That's what I need.
This is the one that I want, right? I have to imagine that those chocolate bars are like horrendous for you though,
Oh, I would,
right? Because they don't put any of the calories
it's
or anything.
just-
Like they have to, it has to be full of sugar and so bad for you. But I don't
No,
even
she
want
got
to.
the little
Have you ever?
nutrition
Have you
fact-
looked? Have you looked at the nutrition facts?
I mean, yeah, no, I have.
The nutrition facts is just, it's-
You know,
yeah,
he's halfway there.
yeah,
Makes
right.
up for it.
Real quick then, so rebounds, we have Andy Castanaro with 13 rebounds per game. Assists,
You know
Lansana
why
with,
you not on there more? Because you ain't trying hard enough, bro.
that's fact. If you tried just a little bit harder,
Yeah,
maybe
bro.
you'd be
You
showing
was
up more,
almost
right?
there. You was
Um,
almost there, bro. Almost.
Steals, Abdul Wadud is more than likely going to finish the
Yeah.
the
That is crazy.
season
How many
with.
steals?
He's averaging 3.3. Devo, you're up there.
Yeah,
Number three.
I'm three.
Yeah, David Barber leads in blocks. Dawood leading still very comfortably at 3.6 3-point leader. That's probably it for the season. I can't imagine anyone else's stats changing. I have some questions for you guys before I let you guys go. Cool?
Quick before that, I want to say this also
Sure.
shows how people built their teams a lot. You
Yeah.
can tell a lot of Monim's guys are on there on rebounds.
Yeah.
The one sole guard that he picked is on there for assists at the top of the leaderboard, with Abdul Wadud on there.
You have to respect Monim for picking a team that plays as well as they do.
He did, and for 3-point field goals, Yassine's 2 picks, Dawood and Ethan are on there, so I think it shows
There you go.
how people pick their teams a little bit.
That's a super good point. I didn't think about that. I mean, like, I imagine that there was some thought that went behind how people were drafting, but I guess I never really thought about looking at the stats at like how that panned out for them. Like,
Yeah.
Yassine really did pick a team of shooters, and you can see that like it worked out. His shooters are on the
Right there.
3-point goals. Monem picked a team that was mostly going to be like rebounding,
Points.
assists, moving the ball, and I mean, like you
All
see that.
three of them double
Yeah, all
doubles.
three of them
Yeah.
are there.
Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting. There's only 3 teams represented on the leaderboard, right? Your team, Monem's team, and Yassine has 1 guy on the leaderboard.
Ion's got 1. Oh no, Ion's got 2. Him and Hakeem. Hakeem's at the bottom.
Oh, I'm just looking at number 1. I'm just
yeah,
looking at
yeah.
number 1. Yeah, because I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
like
number one,
Matt is number 2 in rebounds, right?
yeah. Yeah, number 1. Yeah, and shout out to Andy too being up there in rebounds. Number
Yeah.
1.
Dude, we didn't really
Amazing.
speak about it, but Andy's the Iceman, dude. That dude's
Yeah.
Frankenstein. That guy at the end, his free throws really sealed the deal
They won
for
the
them.
game.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, them flops though. Them flops though.
Yeah.
He's got a job.
No.
Yeah, he does.
absolutely.
He has a job, and he did the job right. All right, so some questions for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pull them up here. I'm gonna turn this so it's facing me, so that you don't have time to like really plan for it.
Oh, cool. I like
okay.
this.
The first question I have for you is, how did you guys meet? Seems like you guys have a really fantastic on-court presence and communication together. You can tell that connection goes deeper than just basketball. Can you tell me how you guys linked up and met and became this like iconic duo?
So actually, it's basketball.
Okay.
That's what
All
brought
right.
us together, you know?
Sure.
I lived in the Poconos probably 6-7 years ago, actually.
Sure.
Moved from the Poconos out to Easton, and then from Easton I ended up moving to Macungie with my mother. And nice little complex, nice little community. And he's within a throwing, like a baseball away, you know?
Yeah.
He's right down the road.
Sure.
He's right down in the same complex. We have a nice little community basketball court, and one day I pulled up after work, you know, in boots. And I just, you know, was shooting around, and, you know, I seen a game going, and I was like, yo, let me jump in with y'all. And, you know, he was the first, him and another friend of ours, Brian, who we hope to see in the league sometime too.
He's the one who wears he wears like a headband?
Yeah.
Okay, I know him, right?
Professor.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Professor B,
I know
that's
him. He's a fantastic player too.
He's some. You want to see magic? You want to see something crazy?
Yeah.
That's the man. But yeah, I ended up moving to the community, and him and Brian were the first two people to pretty much come up to me and be like, "Yeah, man, like come join, like come play with us," and like we literally just clicked from there. And ever since then, it was just, you know, we're joining different leagues. You know, him and his family are really sweet people. You know, his cousins and mother and father, everybody. So like that's how our bond became.
Look at that. So how did you guys find your way to this league?
So I got invited through Quran, I would say, in 2020. And I got invited through going to probably Saturday morning runs, I want to say it was still back then, but back with Ian. I think that's his name. The tall
big
white dude. No.
I know a different Ian.
The one who played in the All-Star game for PA. I'll show you.
All right, yeah.
But he got me in on a Saturday morning. Julian invited me because Julian knew Yassine pretty well.
Okay, yeah.
So he got me in a Saturday morning, and then same day that I got invited to the league, I tore my ankle.
Really?
Yeah, so I was out that whole season. That's how the whole clicking happened.
That was crazy.
I know this
on demand, he just cracks it.
So I was out that whole season. And then next season, I got invited back with Quran and played with Pat and his brother. And then after that, I think with Yassine, and then brought him in when we needed another defender and somebody else that came from outside the league. And
so, funny story, when he told me, like, hey, man, do you want to play? Like, it's actually at this, it's a Muslim league. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, man. Like, he knew I was Muslim. So, like, also, that's also why he asked. So, like, when he sent me the address, I put it in GPS.
Yeah.
And, you know, it came up, and I'm just like, that's weird, because like that's actually the mosque I converted at.
Yeah.
So like,
what are the chances of that?
What's the chances of that, right? I never knew like there was actual basketball court, you know, even at the mosque. But then once I walked in, I was just like, wow, this is
how things have come full circle,
full
right?
circle. Like, I converted prior to him asking me, like, I would say 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And like, then he asked me, like, so I didn't even know that, like, there was things like, you know, like that going on, which is actually really cool. And love the fact that, you know, our mosque does things like that.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a huge community builder, and it brings a lot of people in. I'm glad that people, even who are not Muslim, feel like I'm welcomed by this community, and I feel like these people care about me and they want to see me succeed and stuff. My follow up to that is, what are your favorite parts of the league?
Oh, I think, like you just said, the brotherhood. Going in there knowing that, we all play hard, but nobody does try and foul you besides Dawood. Nobody else tries to intentionally hurt you or get on you a little bit. That after the game we can all laugh. And even Friday night, we went out after the game a little bit with David and Andy and Ethan just to hang out. And, we were still mad and frustrated, but we had a good time.
Yeah, we kept it at a minimum, like half hour. 45 minutes.
Just
So the food came out, we left. It was like, all right, guys, catch you.
I mean, like after we cleaned up, after we ended up cleaning up, like we went out to eat with AN. Like, and we were just like after we just spoke. It was fun, and it was just like it's not that serious, right? Yeah.
And that I know, the draft was a huge fun part. Even though I don't want to do one this year, I want to run it back, but doing it again would be amazing, and being there and the banquet, all the extracurricular stuff.
I hope we see you guys at the banquet.
I would love, like I said, I would love to see that.
There.
I would definitely love to be
be
a part. My favorite thing about the league is just how I feel like basketball should be played like this. It should be taken. If you're joining a league, it's fun and all, but like, I like to play serious, I like to play for my points, for my stats, like for my respect, like put respect on my team's name, like
100%.
And the fact that our community, our league does that, if it's not like just on the court or it's the group chat talking smack, and like just the game planning and just bringing our team even closer and like. I feel like that just brings all of us, like he said, brotherhood. It brings us all so much closer.
It's about as legit as you can get, right? Like unless you're playing semi-pro or like this is like the I feel like the closest you can get to like living out your hoop dreams. Like there's stat keepers after your games. Like
and it's only getting better.
Yeah, sometimes like if you had a great game, they'll interview you like. They have like every week, like we try to do like there's the player of the week, like
the post
there's something to play for, right? Like I feel like the players get appreciated a lot. I feel like this is as close as you can get to like a legit league, right? My last question would be: is something that you enjoyed about this season, besides taking the phone from Smoothie and having that that moment?
I would say the draft, I think, was the biggest thing. Like getting that phone call and playing with different people and
getting that phone call sounds crazy.
You've
been drafted to Farhad's team.
Yeah, first pick. Like
hug your parents. Like no way, no, mom, I made it.
I'm going. But to see the different people that I got to play with and that, and just I think seeing the new people come in, Sultan, some of the other guys that you don't get to see a whole lot. That was for me the best thing. AW, who I know. A lot of people gave him flack and still came out. Just being there, knowing that we want to go to a league that has a finals that we're not playing in is crazy to us.
Mm-hmm.
So that says it all.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's definitely weird.
I know you didn't get to play the entire season, but I feel like you got to play a significant portion of it. What was your highlight of your season?
It probably would have been that, to be honest, because like I never experienced it. But it would have probably been that. But my favorite part of this experience actually is just playing with a team, playing with new people, playing with a team, and just growing and like having those games where it's like, yo, we all just did this, and also how much the league grew, like seeing the growth in it, like just every, like I said before and earlier, like every game is just better, like from stats to boom, having a concession stand to having people record games, having you know the group chat, like just all of it, like that experience, the podcasting, what we're doing now, that I definitely like that. That was my number one like experience, and
I appreciate that. My last question was, if allowed to, would you run it back or a new team? So your call was
I would run it back. I do think that some teams are going to want to get shaken up. I think a lot more trades will happen.
Sure. Yassine was saying, I had a chance to talk to him about it. He was saying that potentially they would do like, you could like do trades up until like the last like 3 weeks or something like that.
And that's where I would think. But I do want to say something quick because I know me and Monam were talking about it, and this is going to get flack. If you don't play, it is nobody's fault, in the league at all. It's not your captain's fault. It's not your fault.
Sure.
you need to know your role. If you're coming
Yeah.
to the league and you're 17 or 18, somebody needs to coach you and get you to understand
Yeah.
where you're at or what your expectations are. But, I know L gives people flack, and
Yeah.
playing 5 minutes is good. If you have guys on the team, and I don't want to say like me, but like me
But
or
like you,
Lacoste
right, yeah.
or an AW who puts up 25 points, you playing 5 minutes and getting a win is good. And if you feel some
I
type of
agree.
way about that, talk to your captain, get traded. You can go lose 9 games and touch the ball as much as you want. And if that's what you want to do,
Then
Yeah.
that can be it. But if your captain wants to win and you feel like you're
Yeah.
not getting enough playing time, I personally just don't want to hear it from anybody else talking about, I feel like I paid and I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Do
Hey,
better
I mean,
or
we
talk
got
to
the
your
whole
captain.
trade. We got
Yeah,
the whole,
right.
we got
Then
the
get
system
then,
going.
then trade.
Yeah.
I honestly I respect that a lot because when we had spoken earlier, like I'm on a team where like Anwar and McCuss are the guys.
Yeah.
Matt is the guy. Like those are the dudes. Like I know my role. I mean, you can ask them. Ask them in the chat. I've spoken so many times to Anwar and McCuss, and I want to win.
Yeah.
If we win by me sitting on the sidelines for 40 minutes, I want to win.
Yeah, and
right?
that's
Like
all it
that's
is.
fine. I want to win. If I need to play the full 40 minutes, I'll play the full 40 minutes. The most important thing to me is that as a team we win.
Yes.
And also like just to piggyback off what you said, like you need to know your role on the team.
Yeah.
Right? Like should Yusuf be shooting the ball?
Everybody's
50?
not a
Yeah,
shooter.
should I be
Yeah.
shooting the ball?
Everybody's not a big man,
Yeah, should
you
I be
know?
shooting the ball 15 times? Probably not. Right?
Everybody's not a ball
Right, and that
handler.
shows. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I shot the ball 4 or 5 times. Like
And you're contributing. You
that
made
was
2
it.
of them.
That was good.
Yeah.
And you
That-
keep
that's
working
what-
on it.
yeah,
and you
that's-
keep working on it. And
right.
You've been getting better too. Like,
I
shout out to
appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah, playing just rec ball,
Yeah,
like,
I appreciate
you hitting
it.
threes, just chopping in the corner or
But
defensively.
I think but a big part of that is like I know my role on my team,
Yes.
right? So like if Anwar and Wakas were like, dude, I need you to sit.
Yeah. I'm going.
I'm not. I'm gonna go sit
Yeah.
down. I want to win. If this is what we need to do to win, then
Yeah.
I'll sit the whole game,
And
right?
that wasn't a shot to anybody, but just I think league wide, if you feel like you're playing and you're not playing enough, talk to your captain, request
Yeah.
a trade.
Yeah, definitely
But
talk.
I don't want to hear it in the group chat about everybody talking about, oh, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Guys
Trade.
aren't gonna play.
Ask for a trade.
Yeah, guys aren't gonna play. You're not. That's why we have 8 guys. You don't only
Yeah.
have 5 people. On the
Actually, I
team.
feel
Yeah.
like 8 guys is a pretty good like you'll still get
It's a good
realistically
size.
you should get some play time with
Yeah.
that. It's just what do you do with that? Like
Exactly.
I didn't play the full game of the playoffs.
No.
Right? When they drafted me, I knew I was not one of their starting players, right? Like I knew that
Exactly.
I knew they didn't draft me because they were like, "Oh, Yusuf is going to run this offense," right? Like I knew my roles. Like so I sat on the bench for a lot of the playoffs, but I knew that okay, like when I get onto the court, I need to do something with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
You
not
gotta
going to be
shine. You
it's
gotta
not yeah,
show.
it's not going to be like a 5 minutes or a 10 minutes of me like just standing around and looking off into space. No, like I have this 10-minute if you're going to give me 10 minutes of a 40-minute game, like that have to be the most impactful 10 minutes of my life.
And then if you do
Right.
that, you also shine, right?
Yeah, it gives
you're
you-
probably gonna get more PT. You're probably
Yeah.
gonna get more playing time too. Like, oh, we know that he can do this. Oh, we see him getting better
Sure.
at this. Or like even if you're out there and you mess up, and people. Well, this is how we run our team at least.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody messes up. Yeah, we do bark at them. We yell at, not bark, but not
Right,
bark,
it's not
like
Sultan,
they-
not
right?
bark
Right.
like they did. But like we do yell at them, and
Yeah.
like you have to take that, especially playing a sport team or a sport game. You have to take
Yeah.
that with criticism, but it's
part of it.
It's good criticism.
Yeah.
And you just get better. You just get better.
This is not like PYC.
No.
Right? Like
I
when
know.
I was a kid,
We're not little kids.
I played
Yeah.
basketball for 11 years. My dad paid $200 for me to play 8 weeks of basketball. The coach must give me like X amount of time,
Exactly,
right? Like
yes.
this is not that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I actually feel like this is a league that's not as easy to get into,
No.
right? Like Devo got the call like after a couple weeks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's not so
deep
easy,
boy candidate.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and
for
he's a
real.
fantastic player too. Like, but
Appreciate it.
you have to. I learned for myself that like you have to pay your dues, and you need to give your team a reason to put you on the court,
Yes.
right?
And
like you can't just assume like, well,
Expect to be-
I paid the fee,
I
therefore I should, get
play 15
Yeah, I should be
minutes.
playing.
I should be 20
That's not how
minutes in.
it
Yeah.
works, pal. We want to win.
Yes.
Right.
And verbatim, that's what I told Monem. We're not SPYA. You're
Yeah.
not a here's money. I'm playing 20 minutes. And
There are
that's
leagues
it.
like that.
Yes.
Go find-
yeah,
go
go play in
find-
Hay-
go find-
Go
play
Hay-
with
go
us.
find Hayden.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
play.
They
Sign up
need-
for the free agents. They need
they
to
need-
play.
Yeah.
and
they need-
it is what it is.
they need a
but
few.
for a league like this where you're keeping stats, and
Yeah,
I'm sure
it matters.
like you said, you're happy when you go home to your mom and say, "I had 6 points this week."
Yeah, my mom. They were so my
Like,
parents.
look, Mom,
my
look at-
parents.
look
Yeah,
at my
look at that.
stats.
My
Look at my
parents are so
stats.
proud of me because they're also like, they can see. They know that Yusuf is not. I'm not the guy on that team that's running the offense. For them, they're like, dude, you touch the ball, you got your shots up, like.
And then look at the film.
Yeah, right. Look at that.
Look,
I watched my threes like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, of course.
Just like, you know what I mean?
Same way.
Yeah, look
same
at
way.
that. I did it.
Keep rewinding.
Yeah,
clip,
rewind.
clip.
Right.
And that's where maybe he can attest to it. But like he said, I think we run our team very much so. As in, if you're a role player, we still want you to feel welcome. And you're doing, you putting up 2 points is more than you having 0. You getting
look
that
what happens
rebound
if you take any of your role players' points away, right? Like,
so you're still on the team, no matter.
No
I
team.
don't want to call it any, but Smoothie. No matter how little you ever feel like you're doing out there, I know we give you crap all the time. You're playing and you're doing stuff that everybody else may not see, but you're out there and you're doing it. So people like that.
Sometimes it doesn't show up in the stats what you do, right?
No,
like,
it hurt. It hurt. Oh my gosh, Najee, man, I love it.
Right?
I love that guy.
That is a prime example of just showing up, bro. He's on the court, and you know that he's putting 100% in with any time that he gets. 100%. He's not complaining about his play time. He's there to do his job, and that's it.
Yeah.
And he tries. That's another thing too. Like you can't just not you expect something and then not even give an effort.
Yeah.
Don't expect much. Like expect like you're 100%. Gonna play more or something like that.
I agree.
Yeah, don't walk off the court.
Yeah.
100%. Devo, you had mentioned, so just to put the question on you, run it back or.
So actually, I was gonna jump in between earlier. No, I do change my mind.
Yeah.
I definitely changed my answer. I definitely would like to run it back. Like hearing how what could be.
Yeah.
And how we could have those two
you guys
extra
would have
teams
Ismail back.
Yeah.
Oh, that would.
And that's where we'd have to figure out.
Right.
We'd have to drop somebody. I know.
No,
I'm sure. Maybe I imagine that they would probably make an exception because you guys.
We already had.
You guys had. Now this is your squad, and if we're running it back, then that's
and if
fair.
You're picking up 2 new teams. I think those 2 new teams should also be. Not the best they can be, but let them pick from whoever. If you have guys who
let them make their own teams.
Yeah, if you can beat us with the guys who are on free agents who have played these last 3-4 years, like my cousin Julian, Dylan,
bring those boys back.
Yeah,
let them run it back.
Right?
Yeah.
I know Amar's got a younger brother, Sayer, who wants to play now.
There's a bunch of dudes who want to play.
Bunch of guys.
Yeah, let those dudes in and put them on a squad.
And then if you have a PPNL team or you draft a team that happens to be that good in 2 years, then
sure, then so be it.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Drew and Devo, I appreciate you guys being here.
Very much.
Yeah. I hope you guys come out. I hope you guys come out on Friday. We have to do some conversating on some game planning for our game on Friday.
Oh, we gotta get more mic'd
up.
We gotta get more of that. Yeah, we gotta get.
Yeah.
We got the mics, so we can. If you guys like the mic'd ups, we can get that going.
Even a commentator. Look,
right.
All the options. It's just we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're almost there, right? I appreciate you guys being here. If you're in the WhatsApp group, please consider clicking on the link to support our brother who's in need. Any amount of money helps. If you can't help with money, please consider sharing the link. He's in need, and we're kind of on a time crunch here. So I appreciate it. I'll see you guys on Friday.
Yes,
Later,
see you guys.